History is not only made of kings, victories, and glory. When we open history books, we are taught to remember dates, names, and battles. We read about rulers who conquered lands, generals who won wars, empires that rose and fell. But history is not only written by those at the top. Behind every empire, behind every crown, there were millions of ordinary people who suffered in silence. Farmers, laborers, prisoners, women, children. Their pain was rarely written down, their names were forgotten, their voices were never recorded, and yet their suffering was very real. In many ancient and medieval societies, law was not created to protect people, it was created to control them. Justice was not about fairness, it was not about truth, it was about fear. Fear was the strongest weapon any ruler could use. If people were afraid enough, they would obey without question. Punishments were designed carefully, not to correct behavior, not to teach morality, but to send a message that said, this could happen to you. That is why punishments were public. They were meant to be seen, they were slow, they were humiliating, and they were deliberately painful. The suffering of one person was meant to control thousands of others. One of the most common punishments in history was public whipping. It was used across continents, across cultures, and across centuries. From ancient empires to medieval kingdoms, men were whipped, women were whipped, even children could be sentenced to it. The accused would be dragged into a public square, sometimes barefoot, sometimes half-clothed. Their hands were tied, their back was exposed. A wooden post stood in the center of the square, silent, waiting. Crowds gathered, not to help, not to stop it, but to watch. Some came out of fear, some came out of curiosity, some even came for entertainment. Silence filled the air before the first strike. A moment of stillness, a moment where time felt frozen. And then pain. The whip cut through the air, skin tore, blood followed. With every strike, the punishment became a lesson, not just for the victim, but for everyone watching. Every scream said, obey. Every wound said, do not resist. Some victims collapsed before the punishment ended. Their bodies simply gave up. They fainted, they stopped moving. Sometimes they died, others survived. But survival came at a cost. Scars remained for life. Each scar was a permanent reminder of the law's power, a reminder that the state could reach into your body and leave its mark forever. But physical pain was only one part of the punishment. Chains were another. Chains were not just tools, they were symbols, symbols of power, symbols of ownership. Heavy iron shackles were locked around ankles and wrists. Some were so heavy that prisoners could barely stand. Walking became painful, sleeping became torture, even breathing felt heavy under their weight. Prisoners spent days, weeks, sometimes months, in chains. Time moved slowly when every movement caused pain, when even turning your body felt like punishment. Medieval prisons were not places of rehabilitation. They were not meant to help anyone change. They were places of decay, stone walls, cold floors, darkness everywhere. Many cells had no windows, no sunlight, no fresh air. Prisoners lost track of time. Some forgot what day it was. Others forgot what month. Some forgot who they were. Rats shared the cells. Dampness filled the air. The smell of rot never left. Disease spread easily. Infections went untreated. And help rarely came. Forced labor was another form of punishment, a slow death disguised as work. Prisoners were sent to mines, deep underground, where light barely reached.